Hello and welcome to Scribbles and Its Fibers. My name is Jason. I am the owner and dyer of Scribbles and Its Fibers. If this is your first time tuning into this podcast, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. Hopefully you find something enjoying about coming and catching up with me and seeing what's been going on with my knitting and fibery adventures. So for starters here, we just got back about a week ago from our summer vacation. We went to take a road trip to the Southwest, and we ended up finding ourselves heading towards Arizona, through Colorado down to Arizona to see the Grand Canyon and into Las Vegas. We definitely ran into some different types of snafus along the way. Interestingly, we had some lemons along the way as well that we definitely, I would say, made lemonade out of. So for starters, I feel like I should share some of my adventures with you, and I'm sure I'll insert some pictures along the way too. One of our first things that we ran into is pretty much when we got into Arizona, we found ourselves stranded in the desert. And I know that that's kind of a cliche-ish thing to say, but we really did. So what ended up happening was we were on a 2-lane highway, and sorry, we're outside today. We're outside today because I could not get any quietness, at least enough in the house to be able to record inside. So I was like, I'll just take it outside on the patio. And so I've got my umbrella, but it's kind of swinging in the wind here. And so I'm just kind of stopping it every once in a while, but you may see it twirling around. So we found ourselves on a 2-lane highway in Arizona. And this was during the weather that it was anywhere from 112 to 116 degrees. It was pretty hot in Arizona on these days. And we found ourselves on a 2-lane highway, and the highway, there was a crash up ahead, and so both lanes were closed and coming to and from. And so there was an ambulance that was nearby that had recommended that people take this dirt road that caught up along the way around to the other end of the accident. Unfortunately, the dirt roads in Arizona, as I've quickly learned, are not really like dirt roads in Iowa, in that they're pretty much desert sand. And so what happened was our traffic going one way met up with the other traffic going the other way, and on a 1-lane sandy pathway, and everybody got stuck from both directions. So nobody could go around each other. And we were at the end of our pack, and behind us were some hills. We'd gotten over some hills. The only thing was we couldn't go back up them to return back to the highway. So we ended up really finding ourselves stranded in this desert path off the highway. And so somebody who lived in the area came and saw that this was going on, because there were a whole string of vehicles were stuck. And so came along, and they had a vehicle with big wheels on it that could navigate some of the terrain there. And they came and they showed us a path essentially to get out. And this path was off-road. It was even further. It wasn't even a dirt path at this point. It was sand and rock. But they found a place that was enough rocks, because the problem was everybody was getting stuck in the sand. So literally just burying their tires in the sand. So needless to say, that was a situation that we were really glad to be out of, safely and without much harm. But the funny thing was I had planned for something going on. So I had 2 large packs of bottled water, and that ended up serving us well with regards to feeling comfortable in the situation for the most part. I mean, it was still nerve-wracking. So then a couple days later, we had found out that on that same day that had happened, back at home, our water line on our refrigerator had busted. And so we had water that had leaked all out into our kitchen. Our kitchen floor was soaked. It had gone through the flooring into the ceiling of the lower level, and it was in the carpet. The carpet was soaked in the lower level. So, but we did have a house sitter, and they did catch it in a reasonable amount of time, and called my brother, and he came over and fixed the water line, as well as they cleaned up the mess. So by the time I actually found out, because I didn't find out till a couple days later, the whole thing was taken care of. The mess was cleaned up, and I have I'm really thankful for our house sitter, and my brother, most definitely. So, and then on our path, what else did we run into? Oh, those were two, I mean, relatively minor things. You know, I mean, we got through those. But our third thing that happened, which was not as minor, was that when we were leaving Las Vegas, headed home, a vehicle in front of us had kicked up a board, and the board was, you know, about yay wide and about yay big around, and it ended up spearing the front of our van, essentially. Speared the grill and speared right into the where the radiator is. But in my model of van, in front of the radiator is a condenser for the transmission, so to cool off the transmission fluid. So essentially it speared the condenser, and transmission fluid started spraying everywhere. And obviously we couldn't drive home from Las Vegas to Iowa with that. So we got it towed, and they told us it was going to take probably over a week, week and a half to get it fixed. So we had decided that we'd bite the bullet and we'd buy plane tickets and head back home, so that way we could, because we were at the end of our vacation at this point in time. And so we bought plane tickets, and within a couple hours of buying the plane tickets, we'd gotten a message saying, oh, you know what, we realize you're from out of town, we realize your situation, let's go ahead and rush this through, and we'll have it done in a couple days. So we are very thankful to that. That was Service King in Las Vegas, Nevada. They rushed us through. They got it done in a record amount of time. They had to order parts. They had to fix it. Luckily, we didn't have any paint issues. It literally speared right in the grill. So the plastic grill that covers the radiator, that was what needed placed. But as for body work with regards to painting, nothing needed done. So it was mostly mechanical though, because we had to get a new condenser and have that all taken care of, the insides that got speared. So the big thing though we had just purchased, we have 5 people in our family, we just purchased 5 plane tickets. So we did call the airline and talked with them for a while, and finally got through to management who very kindly ended up, after they heard our story, did refund our plane tickets, which is pretty impressive, because that is like, they told us this is like a really rare thing that they ever do this. So but they had seen that we had just bought the tickets and were asking for a refund, and understood our story and our situation. So where we were going to come back, we were going to stop along the way on our way back and enjoy our distance back from Las Vegas. We ended up just driving straight through from Las Vegas to the middle of Iowa, just because at that point we were ready to come home. And I'll tell you, when we came home, I was very happy to be home, and as was the rest of my family. So that was our vacation, our summer vacation. And we almost, the thing is we do occasionally have vacations that just go normal, but it seems like we have a lot of vacations that have incidents such as that. So we'll be taking some Friday, Saturday, Sunday time this summer to take little mini vacations and things like that, I'm sure. If not, some Saturday, Sundays just to get out of town for a night. So needless to say, we did have fun on our vacation. We did a lot of fun things. We did a lot of swimming. We rented a limo while we were in Vegas, and so from 8:30 p.m. one night to 8 o'clock p.m. to 11:30, we got to drive around Las Vegas and see the lights and have a lot of fun with that. And that was a blast. So I'll show you guys some pictures along the way, probably insert them in throughout the time that I've been talking about our vacation. And then at the end of this video for today, this podcast, I'll show you some different clips there as well, if you're interested in seeing how the trip went. So, all right, well, let's move on to knitting. Let's start with some works in progress. I did not get a lot of works in progress done. One of the major works in progress I did get done was this hat that I was working on in the last podcast, which is the Dustland hat, knit in my Scribbles and Knits colorway Deceptive Magic, and for my 8-year-old boy. And the thing is first of all, let me show you some features. I really love this feature here, how when knitting the 2x2 ribbing of the hat, it created a spiraling effect, but then as you move on up the hat, it's very well variegated. In addition to that, the pattern, I do enjoy the pattern. I thought, even though the variegation does take out some of the view of the pattern, overall I'm really pleased with how it knit up, and my 8-year-old loves it. Matter of fact, he put it on, and you notice I haven't woven in the ends. I haven't woven in the ends here yet, and that's because I actually, when I gave it to him, he says he doesn't want them woven in. So I think what I might do instead of weaving in the ends is add some additional yarn to it, so that way he even has more ends, because what he likes to do with this, he likes to mess with these. And I'm like, all right, more power to you. So isn't that kind of nice? You know, you think about it, you're having to weave in all these ends for people's gifts, and I have found somebody who doesn't want their ends woven in. So that's how that ended up working out, and I'm really pleased with the final product of that. He's actually gotten a lot of wear at it, so out of it already, and so it's actually already a little dirty from him wearing it. But all in all, I was really pleased with that knit. I did end up making this Deceptive Magic out of DK weight, and I do offer DK weight upon request, as if somebody wants a colorway, but they would prefer it to be in a DK weight. I do have DK weight 100% merino wool that I love, but it's upon request, just because I don't keep it in stock. But that's my actual finished object that I've completed this week, and I only have one finished object because I've been working pretty extensively on something that I talked about in my last podcast, which is a shawl made by Anthony Casalina, from Anthony Casalina Crafted on Instagram, or his Anthony Casalina's Ravelry shop, from his pattern called Fast Lane. Now check this out. I am having a lot of fun with this knit. You see that? This is using two Scribbles and Knits colorways. One is called, the blue and yellow one is called Fast Car, and you see the gray and blue and white colorway is called Wolf of Courage. And both of these are available in my shop, and I'll tell you, I'm having a lot of fun with the combination of these two together for this. This has been a really fast knit, as you can tell, but I've also been a fairly monogamous knitter when it comes to knitting this up, because I am really enjoying it. Very plain and simply, I am having a blast with it. These colorways are really encouraging too, just from the way that they end up, how variegated they look. I love that splash of vibrant yellow in there, in that Fast Car, with the dark midnight bluish purple. You know, it's kind of weird patting yourself on the back with regards to your own colorways, but I'm really enjoying it. So once again, that's the pattern is Fast Lane by Anthony Casalina. Check him out. I mean, he's got some other cool patterns, and he's continuing to work on more patterns, as I see on Instagram. But I swear, this is a neat combination, from the colorways to the knit pattern together. I'm just really enjoying it. Like I said, I can't stop patting myself on the back about it. I know it sounds so corny, but you know, I'm enjoying it. So this has been my major go-to project currently, for sitting and knitting. But so this is my major work in project, or work in progress. I am, however, going to start working on a sock that I started a long time ago, which is the Flying Seagulls pattern by Amy Meeks, one of the Periscoping sisters. So I started this pattern, gosh, it was like in March maybe? I don't know anymore. And I got one whole sock knit up, but I had second sock syndrome with it, and so I've only knit up this far on the second sock. And so this is some black, I believe it's Cascade, it's a black sock yarn. And this is my sock colorway called Crimson Queen. It's currently not available, but maybe I should bring it back. Because it is seriously, I think it's going to be one of those colorways that if you look on my website, which is scribblesandknits.com, I do have some colorways that I have available upon request. And the reason why I do that is just because I don't keep it in stock. But if somebody's interested in having a skein or two of this, I'd be willing to get the recipe back out and get something dyed up, because that's not a problem at all. But so I should add this, because I tell you, if you look at that guy, that colorway, it's got some purple and some green and some red, some crimson red. So if you're interested in this colorway, it is called the Crimson Queen. And anything that is upon request, you just have to send me an email, which is jason@scribblesandknits.com, and that's on my website too. And just let me know what you want, and I'll go ahead and dye it up for you. And it's the same price as any of my other colorways. There's no extra charge or anything like that for a special request colorway. It's just I don't keep them in stock currently. So I'm gonna start working on that some more, because I feel like I've been focused so much on this, I do miss knitting on socks. So I was like, well, finish the socks you got on the needle. So, and speaking of needles, this is a pair of Hiya-Hiya's size 1 needles. I think they're Hiya-Hiya's, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Hiya-Hiya size 1 needles. And they're pretty good, you know. I will say that ever since having gotten my Addy Turbo Rocket set, I really like my Addies a lot. But, you know, there's a lot of nice needles out there beyond just the ones that you end up preferring yourself. So, all right, so that is my works in progress that I've got going on as well. So I don't have a lot of things, but it's mostly because I've been a fairly monogamous knitter lately. As for what is going on in the shop, so I have recently, today, just uploaded a new colorway, and it's for the summer collection, because I felt like, you know what, I feel really summery today. I feel like I need to get some summer colorways going out there. And so this summer colorway is called Sprinklers. And if you read the story either on the Etsy shop or on my website, you'll see the story behind it. But as you can imagine, it's about the fun of being a kid and being able to enjoy the sprinklers. So that's a new colorway that is up, and I'm sure I'll insert a picture right about here. And that is ready to go. That's actually one that is in the shop currently. One of the things that I plan on doing later this week is actually introducing into my shop the beginning of my fall colorways. And one of the first fall colorways that I'll put in is, as was shown on my last podcast, is my colorway in honor of my summer vacation, my colorway Grand Canyon. Okay, so I'll be putting that one in the shop sometime this week. Definitely, I anticipate that it will be in there in time for next weekend. As an indie dyer and a hand dyer, I do find the weekends are the busiest time for people when they are not working and they're thinking, I'm gonna get me something good. That seems to be when the uptick goes on people wanting to purchase colorways. So I'll have that in the shop by next weekend. So thanks for hanging in there with me today. I had to do some recording indoors and some recording outdoors. It really just depended on where my 5-year-old was at today, because he wanted so badly to be a part of today's podcast. And while I can get some of the podcast done with him here, some of it I just can't, because he, you know, what can I say? He wants my attention. So the funny thing about it is having little ones and running a podcast, they want to be in every shot, and you know, they don't care if they're in their underwear or in daily clothes. They want to be in every shot. So anywho, well, thank you all for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. If you would like to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me at jason@scribblesandknits.com. You can find my Etsy shop. There is a link to my Etsy shop in my website. So go to my website at scribblesandknits.com. It's https://scribblesandknits.com. So scribblesandknits.com, scribblesandknits.com. So thank you very much for joining me. Follow me on Instagram. Feel free to like and subscribe me on Facebook by pushing the like button. Follow me on Instagram to see what's going on throughout the week, and feel free to stop by my shop if there's anything that you like. So have a wonderful week, and I look forward to updating you on what's going on in Jason's life, which is me, in future podcasts. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks.